Hi guys, this is Crypto with James talking to you today about this market crash. People panic and it's not, you can't make trades when you're panicking, guys. I'm going to get into this in a second. Before I do, as always, hope that the spreadsheet is going to be worse than normal. If you invested $100 to each one of these when I release the videos and you were still holding these bags, you'll be in profit for $57,000. That's after huge corrections. This is not what I hold anymore. If you want to see the crypto I hold, come check out Copy My Cryptos, where I share my portfolio. If we are heading to a bear market, there's going to be opportunities left, right, and center in the altcoins. There's, I found Phantom in the bear cycle. Phantom's hugely up. Obviously, it's still 446 times up from when I found it. The bear cycle is an opportunity of a lifetime in terms of finding undervalued coins. I've got a list of cryptos that I've really got my eye on that are, have got true quality behind them. And as you see, if they onboard more people, partner with more people, add new developers, how the project develops while we're in a bear cycle, how much it retraces, those factors are massive in terms of if these coins can do 40, 50, 100 X's anytime I think they can. I'm going to be sharing them with the Copy My Crypto members. If you want to be a part of that, check it out. Links in the description. Right, guys, Bitcoin. So we had our death cross on the 14th of January, which is obviously a lagging indicator. We were already on a downward trajectory. And then we had the sort of sell-off across the week, and it's regaining some ground today. If we actually look at the previous death cross as well, massively lagging indicator, as you can see. But it did then drop from 36k down to around 29 before we had an event, which I think that day, that green candle day, was Musk, Cathie Wood, Dorsey, and they were having a little chat about the future of crypto, and that sort of led to obviously a run. Then we saw the golden cross, and then we saw another run up where the golden cross happened, and the price, even at the top of the candle, was 47,000, and it ran all the way up to 69 before the beginning of the retracement. Now, fundamentally, what we saw, particularly Friday, was a huge sell-off, like massive, particularly not just with Bitcoin, but with, the altcoins got sold off hard. And it's, the one thing that I got to say is I don't get it, in the sense of, I do get it. Look, everyone's got every single right to be emotional about the money, but it's not the time to make decisions. It's just not. Look at the worst decisions you've ever made in your life. Almost universally, they'll be when you've been emotional. You don't make rational decisions when you're emotional. And that's not just financially, but that's professionally, that's personally, that's whatever. Emotionality, having emotions is a good thing. We're not robots, right? But you can't, decision making, they're not conducive to good decision making. And we saw a lot of that in terms of sell-offs. Now, and I say that, look, because a lot of retail investors that sold off at a loss. And that depends on everyone's individual circumstances. If you're investing money that you need to eat for food, then fair enough, sell your stuff, right? If you need that money. Shouldn't be doing that. If you're investing money, you should be investing money that you can afford to lose or can afford to go without. But what you've got to, one thing that is important is people zoom out. Whenever they're thinking about this, whenever they look and they go, bollocks, I got in too high, it's correcting. The key word there is correcting, leveling off. But you take a 3-year cycle, look at how bullish Bitcoin is. And it just is. From that's just the 3-year run. You look at or 4-year run rather. But even if you look at like what it was like 10 years prior, or it's 6 years prior to that, it was strong. Like we've started at such a low point, and we're only in bullish territory. We've seen nothing change. Right now in the market, the prices are dropping, but the fundamentals haven't changed. And all prices, whether it's crypto or S&P 500, which, by the way, 5% drop in the S&P 500 is massive. Massive. Especially when you realize the S&P 500 market cap is 42.4 trillion. So a 5% drop there is massive. You know, $2 trillion gone. So Bitcoin, yeah, dropping in value, but the fundamentals haven't changed. Nothing has changed with Bitcoin. Nothing has changed with Ethereum. You know, Bitcoin is still perceived as a store of value. Bitcoin's scarcity is still true. In fact, as we see, scarcity is getting almost worse because of the whale situations that we've got. You know, if we actually look at Bitcoin whale wallets at the moment, what we'll see in the past few days. Look, this was yesterday. This is the top. It's Binance Cold Wallet, but more money in yesterday. This is the third biggest wallet. 2 days ago, more Bitcoin bought. And we can open these up, you know, because the cold wallet's not necessarily the ones I want to look at too much. So we'll look at number 3 and number 9, right? These people, these whales, right? Yesterday, you know, or on the 21st, bought another 328 Bitcoin. Spent $11 million buying more Bitcoin, adding more to their bag. This one, 9th biggest wallet. Well, you can see today. Oh, tiny amount. Why is that even there? Yeah, okay, that's minuscule. But here we go. So we'll go with 12th biggest wallet and 14th biggest wallet. So what we're seeing with these big ass whales, I mean, look at this. This wallet's massive, but when we actually look at it, you know, we've got trading since the 16th of January. Yeah, there were 2 sells. So we'll start on the 19th. Since the 19th of January, those are all buy orders. Those are all buy orders of Bitcoin. That's a staggering amount of Bitcoin just being accumulated. 1, 5, 9, 13, 17, 21, 25, 29, 33, 37, 30, 41, 45, 49 orders. 49 buys of Bitcoin, ranging from 2 million up to 4 million. That's ridiculous. 29 buy orders of Bitcoin in the past 3 days. This is what we see, guys. This is what we see. Again, you know, they bought 4,000 Bitcoin 2 days ago. $164 million spent. So my point, sorry, I go well off on a tangent there. I've just been spending my time looking at whale wallets. I do find it interesting. But what I was saying with regards to scarcity of Bitcoin, Bitcoin is getting more scarce. Bitcoin is designed to be more scarce, right? Now, the Plan B stock-to-flow model might not be accurate anymore, but the scarcity factor is still important. And that's what companies like MicroStrategy are betting on. And what we're actually seeing as well is a number of Bitcoin mining companies going public. Why are they going public? To earn more money, get more investment. What are they doing with the investment? Buying more mining rigs or buying more Bitcoin. Because when the mining rigs run out, you buy the Bitcoin directly. Marathon Digital bought literally very end of December, or well, from July to December, spent a fortune. They've spent $879 million to buy 78,000 ant miners to get more Bitcoin. 13,000 will be delivered each month from July to December of 2022. That is a staggering amount. They're going to end up being the biggest mining, if they're not already, they're certainly going to end up being the biggest mining company. But what they're doing and what you're seeing with these public companies is these public mining companies, they're not selling their Bitcoin other than to pay for operational costs. They're selling the minimal amount and they're holding their Bitcoin. And what's the purpose of that? Because they're looking at it from a 10-year perspective and going, in 10 years, each Bitcoin might be worth $500,000, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, whatever. But it's going to be worth far more than what it is. It's an appreciating asset. And everyone's different and everyone's reacting differently, right? But the fundamentals of Bitcoin, the fundamentals of the cryptos, and the fundamentals of even the stocks and everything else haven't changed. What has changed is we've seen news, whether it's Ukraine, Russia, trepidation, world trepidation, whether it's the UN, Biden, the UK, how people are feeling about that. People react with fear about these kind of events, and that affects the markets. We've also seen the Fed with regards to this signaling of March rate rise and asset runoffs. And these rate hikes has had a huge impact on the market as well. And again, the impact on the market has been external variables. Actually, when you look at this, it's uncertain what happens here. And it is. Anyone that's telling you otherwise is lying, right? What we can say is it could go bearish, it could go bullish. They're the two scenarios. That's it. It's that simple. Two scenarios. But what I can say is there's a lot of parallels right now in terms of the news cycles as there was when we had this huge runoff in May and June. We had the China FUD. We had Fed FUD. That was massive in May and June. Right now, we've got Russia FUD. Russia, by the way, talking about banning all cryptos. The central bank talked about it. Right? Again, massive FUD. Also got potential war. Massive FUD. Fed still FUDding. So there's an overlapping news cycle right now. So potentially this 50-day, that when we had from the from the death cross to the base of the dip, lasted bang on a month pretty much. So the same principle here. So we could end up seeing this end, or see the bottom around the 14th of February. That's if we're in a bull cycle. If we're not in a bull cycle, we're in a bear cycle. Bar a bounce, because we should see a bounce. And I still think we'll see a bounce to the sort of neckline of the head and shoulders formation. Then we're going to see a run off down into the bears. But this is a cycle unlike any other. We are now at a stage where so many institutions are involved that the query is, the question is, do we ever have a bear cycle in the same way that we've had them previously? Because previously the bear cycles were 18 months. 2 years, whatever. So I don't necessarily see us having that length of time on a bear cycle now. Maybe a bear cycle only lasts 6 months because institutions are heavy or getting heavier into this. Market cap of the entire space is so high right now that feasibly we don't have that 2-year cycle for a bear cycle. And it's an interesting question. We don't know. We have to wait and see. We have to see what happens with this situation. Is it a bear cycle or are we still in a bull cycle? There's a couple macro pictures that look like we're in a bull cycle, but let's not deny the situation. We've got head and shoulders formation. There's definitely a downward trajectory. Odds are it's a bear cycle. But selling off while the market's in a tank before you realize that a bounce is probably more likely than not is dangerous. People are not acting calmly, or certainly people weren't on Friday. And again, it depends on everyone's thing, but fundamentally, you only make a loss when you're selling at a loss. And if you've invested the money that doesn't require you to touch it, it's not money you desperately need, then waiting it out makes more sense. Or potentially, if you've closed the position, to get in at a lower position. That's not a bad shout either. People have been acting nuts, have been acting panicked. And long-term perspective matters. Long-term perspective for this market is still hugely bullish. Hugely bullish. Short-term, we might have a bear cycle coming. That might last 3 months, 6 months. It might last a year and a half, 2 years. We'll see. Like I said, this cycle has been really unlike any other cycle. So you can't necessarily presume the bear cycle is going to be exactly like all other bear cycles. You have to be careful on that. But the landscape of crypto hasn't changed. It has not changed. Fundamentals are the same. External variables have affected the market, and that has to be realized. When external variables affect the market, you've got to bear that in mind. Because Bitcoin is still the same. It's not changed. And when we look over the past year, overall, the news is pretty much overwhelmingly positive in terms of the companies, institutions, pension funds getting into crypto, the amount of companies that have gone public to raise capital investment for crypto, generally overwhelmingly positive. And right now, like I said, we've got a situation where there's two possibilities. We're in a bear cycle, we're in a bull cycle. Either way, guys, it's bloody good. Bull cycle means great. Your assets are about to appreciate once again, whether in a couple of weeks or whatever. That's going to be fantastic. If it's a bear cycle, that's brilliant news. Some of the top tier projects, some of the blue chip altcoins, blue chip, DeFi, blue chip, Metaverse, all these projects could end up losing a ton of value, and you can get in on these successful projects at discount rates. Of both scenarios, it's simply a win. People need to bear that in mind, because I just find it very unusual. That's my thoughts anyway. Everyone has different thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments. If you're panicked, if you're uncertain of the times right now, come check out Copy My Crypto, where I share my portfolio. It's where I talk to the members about what I'm doing right now in this cycle. If you want to be a part of the gains that we've had throughout 2021 and will have throughout 2022, 2023, and every year after that, then come check it out. The link's in the description. But if you are panicked, walk away from the charts, go for a walk and get some fresh air, and stay calm. Don't make decisions on an emotional basis. So what I tell all the members, trust me, that is the worst decision you can make, making decisions on an emotional basis. If you're an emotional person, come check out Copy My Crypto. I'll calm you the hell down. Anyway, that's it. Take care. Bye-bye.